Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. If you're new here, my name is Elena and I am the homeschooling mama to 3 kiddos. Here on the channel we talk about everything from homeschooling to homemaking and all the things in between. Today is going to be the final collaboration for the school year. I can't even believe it's here already, but it's a homeschool collaboration that Abby from Rooted in Rest and Jessica from the Waldock Way have so kindly been hosting throughout this school year, and this is the final one for the year. So for the month of May, we're going to be talking about our homeschool recollections, or how this year kind of went, and then record keeping for your school year. This was our first entire school year in a new state. We moved in the middle of a school year, so this school year is our first entire one from start to finish that we had in this state. And it has been really a huge blessing for us. We were incredibly blessed to be able to move to a state that was a little bit more homeschool friendly, and we are praying that those freedoms will continue on as we continue our journey in homeschooling. We definitely had some trials and we had some things that needed to be tweaked along the way, as most homeschool years are, but we also had a lot of fun, and that was something that I just really wanted for our homeschool year. This year we had a little bit more space to homeschool in, and we definitely used those spaces up. So in another video I shared, I believe it's another collaboration video, I will link that for you up in the cards if you want to see that. We shared our homeschool spaces and how we don't really homeschool in just one area. This was also our very first year at high school homeschooling. So my oldest son started 9th grade, which is high school for us, and we just kind of dove in and started that whole new adventure, which was both exciting and terrifying. At the beginning of the year, I shared what our plans were curriculum-wise for our 9th grade, and then a few months down the road, I shared an update to that here on the channel. Also, if you want to take around and see some of our other homeschool videos, I shared what we had changed with that, because things did end up changing with his curriculum and what we were doing and not doing. We're finishing up the year and we found some things that worked really well for us and some things that we were probably going to change again in the next year. This year I was also teaching my youngest son, who is on the spectrum. He's special needs. He's considered special needs, and we did a sort of kinder first grade hybrid. I like to meet him where he is, and it can be kind of tricky sometimes, honestly, figuring that out. For his schooling, we learned a lot about what worked for him this year. And I say this year because, like most children, it can change all the time. What works for them and what doesn't work for them, and you just kind of adjust as needed. My daughter was in the 3rd grade, and we had a good time figuring out where she was and the things that kind of sparked her imagination and really held her interest. I found that she really enjoys STEM type projects, science, technology, engineering, and math. And so we created an entire STEM cart for her. Again, I have that video if you'd like to see that. We created a STEM cart for her just to get her access to it. It became a sort of STEM/art cart. Originally, it was an art cart for us a few years back, and she didn't let go of that idea, and so she does call it her STEM/art cart. And that works out well because she really enjoys art as well. And honestly, I don't really mind what she calls it as long as it's being used, and I can see that it is sparking an interest in her and just getting those creative juices flowing. Like I mentioned, we were blessed to be in a larger space, and so we were able to homeschool a little bit more outdoors. That was something that I have been wanting to do, and honestly, it didn't really get to do as much of it as I wanted to do. We are going to embark on a sort of summer school schedule, but I'll talk about that in another video at a later time, what that means for us and what we're going to be doing, and I hope that that'll be more outside time and more schooling outside. With our homeschool spaces, this year we changed up a lot. This is our homeschool space, meaning that this is where we kind of house most of our homeschool materials, but this is not the only space in the house where we homeschool. So there was a lot of cleaning it up. There was a lot of removing furniture and putting furniture in, rearranging things. In my personal life, I like to rearrange furniture. So there was a lot of that going on with our homeschool space. There are multiple homeschool videos and another one coming soon about the space and how we rearrange it. I normally do like to rearrange the space or put up new posters or new things as the school year starts, and then about halfway through to kind of give it a refresh. But this year I just couldn't figure out a way to make it last. And I just kept trying and trying, and that's what we're going to continue to do as we go into summer, is just keep moving stuff around and trying to figure out how we can make the space work best for us. For record keeping, I have gone through a couple of different things with my kids, or with my kids' projects. At the very beginning of our homeschool journey, we were with a PSP, which was a private satellite program, and at that time I only had 2 children. When we left the PSP, I only had 2 kids, and they were fairly young. So keeping their projects was a little bit easier. It was just a couple worksheets here and there. And honestly, it just kept them in a manila folder in our file cabinet. So it wasn't a whole lot. And I just figured as they grew and as those files grew, I would switch it up as needed. Well, we ended up, Unfortunately, our PSP group ended just as we were moving into a different county. And so what we decided to do was join a charter school. With the charter school, it was a lot easier as far as record keeping was going, because we were required to show monthly samples of our work, and the charter school just kind of kept that for us. Now, I did keep some of those in a folder just in case, especially at the beginning. I was really not sure if we were going to stay with this program, and so I wanted to have those records for myself. And again, I just had those. I actually didn't keep them in the manila folder. I moved it over to a 3-ring binder, along with some of the other paperwork that the charter school required. So we had all of that in a binder. And then we moved states, and we were not required to really keep many records at all. Actually, we're not required to show any records or have a certain amount of school dates. So I don't have too much, but given our past and seeing how things switch up regularly and life just gets lifey, I've decided that it is wise to keep a couple of things here or there. And so we are just going back to keeping a couple of things for my younger kids. So what I mean by a couple of things is just some of the worksheets that they do. And that is because worksheets tend to be the easiest. So I tried to take some from the beginning of the year, and then I took a couple of pages around our Christmas break, right before the Christmas break, and then I will be saving some more right at the end as we finish up our year, so we can kind of see the progression of how their year went and how things changed for them. I did play around with the idea of keeping like one of those plastic totes. I'll put a picture up somewhere so you can see it. A plastic tote just for the homeschooling records that had files in it for them. But I decided against it and decided I was just going to keep it in the file cabinet as well. Now, for my oldest, who is finishing up his first year in high school, those records need to be kept a little bit neater, and they need to be kept a little bit more organized. I am going to go in and do something a little bit more in depth for him, but I haven't quite finished that yet, and we are still wrapping up our school year at the time of filming, so it's not yet completed. But I will share with you that at the beginning of the year, we purchased this Well-Planned High School 4-year forms. This is from the wellplannedgal.com. I will link it down below. It's not affiliated. It's just what we used, or what I purchased. I purchased this, and then I also went and printed off a few pages from HSLDA, as well as our school district and state's high school requirements, just because I wanted to make sure that we were hitting all the things that we needed should anybody come back and ask for it. If my son decides he wants to go to university, or he wants to go somewhere that they're going to need his transcripts and want to see some of this stuff, I want to make sure I have it for him. Now, he could always go a different route and not end up needing it, but I figure better to be safe than sorry. So I went ahead and printed these out, and I keep it just right now. I just keep it honestly tucked into the book here, and then my plan is to eventually put this into a 3-ring binder as well. And the reason I want to put it into a binder and not just keep it loose leaf or bounded in here is because that way I'm able to add papers and take them out, but I can also add in sheet protectors and maybe put it in there. I haven't quite nail down exactly how I want to do that. But if you want to see what I end up doing, comment down below and let me know so that I can be sure to film that process and share it with you. But I really like this because it's a layout that is kind of a guided layout, if you will, of things that I would want to keep. It says it's a 4-year guide, so everything is in here for each year. It has, like the Well Planned Day, I really like that she usually includes articles or a little blurb and stuff of encouragement or things you should be looking out for, things you should be doing. So year by year it goes by. I just opened up to the junior year here, which we are not on yet, but it tells you, it gives you just a little rundown if you're going on the non-college path or the college path. It reminds you to take a breath and just reminds you to enjoy your school year. And then it gives you a checklist by semester, so semester 1 and semester 2. And then on the other side here, it gives you room to write down your curriculum plan, your literature list, and this says community involvement, and then room for notes down at the bottom. You also get a month by month recap, room to recap your month in there, and so that is really cool. I like that that is available, so you don't have to get to the very end of your year and think, what did we do again? You can just be jotting it down month by month. And then you get a semester summary, which honestly I feel like could be used as just their report card. I don't think in here it has room for like an official report card, so that page would probably work just as well for that. And then at the very end of the book, it has room for you to have official high school transcripts. And you can have these printed out or you can fill these out for your child so that they can have those transcripts if they need them. And then in the very, very back, sorry, that wasn't the last pages. The last page is college considerations, and it gives you room to write down, if they are considering college, some information on the different colleges. So like I said, I really like that it was all handy and in one book and it was guided, because as you get into high school, sometimes it can seem really scary, especially if you've never done it before. We had never taught high school. We never entered that until this year, but we're really enjoying it, and it is a whole nother adventure. And so, like I said, if you want to check out some of the other videos that I have on that, you can search around here and then make sure, here's the shameless plug, that you are subscribed with the bell notifications on so you can get more videos from us and figure out how our journey is going and how I end up putting this all together for my son. The other thing I will say, as we are winding down our school year, something that I do at both the beginning of the school year and definitely at the end of the school year is I sit down with my kids individually and together. I like to sit down together with them and just kind of ask them how they felt the school year went, some of their favorite parts. This is more of end of year party type thing. It's not a full-blown party. It's a little homeschool party and maybe take them out on a fun adventure so we can talk about how it went. So I'm thinking maybe we can do a picnic at the park, or we can even take them out to lunch one day. Maybe my husband can take the afternoon off, but something that's a little bit extra special. Or if we can't do any of those things, maybe we can just do a picnic in the backyard, honestly. Just something a little bit special or out of the ordinary, so that we can chat about our school year in a very casual way. So that is the one that we're gonna do all together. And then individually, I'd like to sit with my children and ask them what some of their favorite subjects were, what some of their favorite curriculum was. So sometimes when talking about their favorite subjects, especially for my littler ones, that would be their favorite curriculum. What did you like about English, or what did you like about math? What didn't you like? That type of stuff. And that way I kind of get an idea of what's working for them from their point of view and what's not working and could be changed. And then for my oldest son, we will definitely sit down. I'd like to have my husband sit in on that conversation just so he has both parents there, and we can talk about, again, what worked, what didn't, what needs to be changed, what he's looking forward to, or maybe what he's not looking forward to. And that way we can talk about it together. For us, we can pray over it and just kind of see where God leads us in these next couple of years of homeschooling. So that is the plan for me, and that is a little bit of a wrap up of our school year. There was so much more that has happened, I'm sure, that I'm forgetting. We had a lot of stuff just personally happen in our life, and it was really awesome and amazing to see my family rally together, and just how that worked out for us. And having the ability to homeschool, having my kids learn these life skills and empathy and lots of other things that maybe they might have missed some of if they had been in traditional school. But thank you so much for hanging out with me and just kind of reminiscing over my school year. I can't believe we're almost done and we've almost wrapped it up. I'd love to know how your school year is going. Are you finishing up? Are you done? Are you continuing on in summer? Let me know all the things. I'd love to meet some other homeschooling mamas on here. I will link the collaboration playlist down below also, because every month there is some great homeschooling families that put out these videos. A special thank you again to Abby and Jessica for hosting this all year long. It has been so amazing and such a blessing to us and our channel. And again, thank you so much for hanging out with me and coming along this ride. If you're already part of our little YouTube family, thanks so much for joining it. We are a small YouTube channel and it just means the world to us that you would come alongside and join us in this adventure. If you're not, maybe check out some of our other videos and see if you want to be part of the family. And if you don't know or haven't heard today, you are extremely loved and very much appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. We live here. They have to go potty while I'm filming.